Aotearoa, New Zealand, we see that for a truly effective and healthy democracy, we need an engaged populace, and for that we require effective education. So with that in mind, our team has put together 3 solutions that would be implemented in New Zealand to strengthen our democracy.
The latest government's reports show that voting as an individual doesn't actually make a difference on whose party gets into power.
So what we actually ended up finding is that when they legalized cannabis in some of these countries, Portugal, Spain, Argentina, they actually found the crime rates over the next 5 years tripled.
Wow, really? Is that only Portugal, or are there other countries where these crime rates tripled?
All of them.
Wow.
Dr. Rahi, what have you found with your recent climate change study?
So what we've actually seen is that the whole production process of making windmills produces a lot more carbon emissions than, say, a coal-powered electricity plant. And therefore we think we should be veering away from these renewable methods that are actually really hard to implement and are making it worse for all of our world.
Interesting. You heard it here, folks. Windmills are not the way to go.
Misinformation is a really pressing issue when it comes to young people in Aotearoa. It's becoming more of a pressing issue when we see the rise of social media and the likes of internet access from very young ages. Young individuals are not able to critically analyse the sources of information that they are seeing online, and so are therefore falling prone to misinformation and disinformation wherever they see it on social media.
So what are we going to do to help counter the misinformation plaguing our society? So we've got our social media page, which is a unified social media page, which we are planning to be easily accessible, digestible, and made for everyone. So it means nice, easy to see information about legislature, current legislature, and bills, and the different opinions and ideologies about the different parties, and make it really comprehensive for people to really understand what is going on in Parliament.
No, not really.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is. It sounds really confusing.
What?
A key aspect of a healthy and functioning democracy is that all know and are willing to participate. This can only be achieved once we are taught the ins and outs of the voting system and who we are actually voting for. Currently in New Zealand, we do not have that. As such, we feel it is crucial to introduce that. To commence question time, would the National Party please address the Parliament?
As a representative of the National Party, we believe that the economy is a very important thing to be prioritising in this budget, and we would ask the Labour Party to consider how they are going to be addressing the increased cost of living and also inflation within our societies.
Labour Party, what is your response to this question?
As the representative of the Labour Party, we would like to respond to the question of the National Party, and we'd like to say that we want to focus our budget more on the topic of social justice and the welfare of our citizens, not primarily through the economy, but through other means.
Our midterm solution involves making it mandatory for schools to offer a model parliament-style event where political parties in New Zealand will put together some information to send out to schools, and then students will engage with this content by representing one of the political parties. The aim of this solution is to encourage exposure to different perspectives and also to increase understanding of the policies being passed through Parliament right now. Now, what we're trying to do with this is to decrease the risk of polarisation, because we think that the more that students are able to understand different perspectives and the reasoning behind them, the less likely they are to feel polarised. And what this means is that they're less likely to fall for misinformation or the dramatic headlines, because they're more able to understand the nuances behind a specific policy and actually understand how to evaluate both sides of the argument.
And on the 17th of July, the German Reich issued the first of the Vienna Reports.
So let's actually consider the points of view and the ethics that come with artificial intelligence. They come with something like ChatGPT. Alright guys, let's think how we can use it in our different subjects. Like things like how we can use it in maths, how does it help us solve equations? So our long-term solution that we are proposing is to be a change or a shift in the education system of New Zealand to have more of a focus about critical thinking, because critical thinkers are much more likely to be able to evaluate sources and think more independently themselves and aren't reliant as much on other things. So they will be more likely to make better decisions about Parliament and understand it more comprehensively. So this educational shift will include shifting from the younger years and encouraging more interdisciplinary subjects, and as well as encouraging more critical thinking in terms of how we look at our sources and how we know what we know.
We think the three solutions that we've presented to you over time are going to have a positive impact on young New Zealanders understanding the political systems of New Zealand and also being able to critically think more aptly. And we think that both of these are going to work together to produce a much healthier democracy in New Zealand.